It frequently feels like a thick cloud descending upon us when we come into contact with the bad energy of others, altering the atmosphere and upsetting our tranquility. Almost everyone has experienced this, whether from a disgruntled family member, an impatient co-worker, or an overly critical acquaintance. It appears as though their toxicity clings to the US, permeating our feelings and ideas and upsetting our composure. But how does this occur? How might another person's annoyance or dissatisfaction affect our inner lives? We need to turn ourselves to find the answer. We frequently ignore a profound reality. Only when negativity connects with something that already exists within us can it become ingrained. At first glance, this may seem puzzling because we frequently feel caught off guard by someone else's negative energy while feeling completely fine. However, upon closer inspection, we see that their behavior or attitude has activated a part of us, possibly an unresolved emotion, fear, or insecurity. Their negativity wakes up something in us that we might not even be aware of, but it's not like we deliberately match their energy. We frequently react to it with resistance rather than acceptance, which is important since resistance exacerbates the issue rather than resolves it. It could be a latent frustration, a concealed sensitivity, or a subtle discomfort. Our first reaction, whether inside or externally, is to push back against the negativity of others. When someone disturbs our tranquility, we may experience a sense of unfairness, a need to defend ourselves, or even rage. Yet this resistance serves to strengthen our bond with their energy. It resembles getting ensnared in a tornado. We become more enmeshed in the resistance the more we struggle against it. The very negativity we are attempting to avoid is amplified by ourselves. Consider instances where you were particularly irritated by another person's negative attitude. Perhaps a loved one suddenly lashed out, or a co-worker yelled at you. Their vibe seems to stick with you and bring you down even if you were having a fantastic day. Why? Because something within you was triggered at that very time. It could be a need to exert control over your surroundings or a sense of injustice. These moments show your inner landscape and the mental condition of the other person, realizing that this has serious repercussions but can also be unstable. Power since, in reality, you have control over how you respond. This leads us to the next crucial insight. Rather than resisting, we can choose how to respond and let their negativity wash over us without becoming enmeshed. When you are present, you become like a calm, steady rock in the middle of a stormy sea. The waves of other people's emotions may crash around you, but they cannot disturb your core. This may seem easier said than done, but this is where the idea of presence becomes crucial. Being present means being completely aware and grounded at the moment without being influenced by the emotional turbulence around you. Developing this presence necessitates a continuous mindfulness practice, which entails being conscious of other people's behavior and your inner reactions when negativity emerges in others, rather than reflexively reacting with displeasure or frustration. You have a decision during that pause. Do you let their energy draw you into their mood, or do you stay rooted in your own? By selecting the latter, you maintain emotional control. They refuse to reflect their negative feelings, but let's examine why presence is effective in more detail. Being present means being fully involved, but in a way that preserves your inner peace. When you are present, you can see their negative energy for what it is, a fleeting emotion that does not define you. You understand that their frustration or anger is theirs to handle, and not something you need to fix or absorb. This does not imply that you become cold or uncaring, but that you grow empathetic without getting caught up in their negativity. Compassion is quite important in this situation. When you compassionately approach other people's negative energy, you alter the dynamic and see them as fellow humans going through their internal struggles, rather than as adversaries or someone to defend. Viewing people through this lens enables you to be present, rather than become enmeshed in their emotional maelstrom. This does not imply condoning their behavior, but realizing that their negativity stems from a place of sorrow or uncertainty. Compassion is a buffer to keep you from reacting in kind, but it's important to understand that it's not always easy. There will be times when someone's negativity is strong and your own emotional defenses are weak. Feeling overwhelmed in these situations is normal, but accepting that you can't control other people is liberating. You may wish they would change or their mood wouldn't affect you, but that wish only makes you more resistant. Instead, when you accept that people will occasionally bring negative energy into your space and that it's not your responsibility to change them, You relieve yourself of the burden of bearing their emotional weight. This acceptance doesn't mean you passively engage with toxic behavior. On the contrary, it enables you to set healthy boundaries. Setting boundaries is about keeping your peace while letting others experience things. It's not about excluding or pushing others away. You can listen without taking in, care without becoming overwhelmed, and be sympathetic without becoming a sponge for their negativity. Setting boundaries is a sign of self-respect and an admission that your mental health is too important. Oddly enough, by avoiding other people's negativity, you frequently contribute to its dissipation. Negative energy thrives on reaction. When upset, they frequently unconsciously look to others for a reaction, such as a fight, approval, or sympathy. However, they have nothing to cling to when you stop feeding their energy. This doesn't mean that their negativity goes away right away, but over time it loses momentum without your involvement, and they might even become more aware of their actions because you haven't reflected them to them. There's a deeper lesson here as well. Concentrating on keeping your calm and presence makes you less susceptible to emotional storms from outside sources. Managing negative energy from others is not about changing them. It is about changing yourself. You understand that you are in charge of your mentality, regardless of what is happening around you. This change in viewpoint safeguards your emotional health and has a cascading impact when you remain composed when dealing with negativity. You demonstrate a different way of being to others. You demonstrate to them, whether intentionally or inadvertently, that they possess the capacity to transcend their emotional reactivity. In this sense, coping with other people's negative energy provides a chance for personal and social development. It is a call to cultivate inner strength, patience, and compassion. Furthermore, even if it might not always be simple, this technique gradually gets more instinctive the more you perform it. As a result of strengthening your emotional boundaries, expanding your presence, and accepting that your serenity is your own, you will notice that the negativity of others no longer impacts you as much. This is not because the world has changed. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more such videos.